You spoke of the future. Let me ask you a direct question. Do you see yourself at some point in time in the future being a finance minister in the way that Manmohan Singh was in the past?
I don't see, a post or a position that I'm hankering after. What I do think is important is I should continue to offer my views on what direction we should take. Take, for example, this whole debate we've had so far on economic direction. It seems to me that the world is moving more towards services. That's an area where there is tremendous amount of protectionism. It's an area where we, India, as a G20 president, can start making some changes. Can we demand, for example, that some of our degrees be recognized in the US? So, for example, our doctors, can we be able to do telemedicine? Can our accountants be able to do accounting for the rest of the world? I mean, the pandemic has made possible services at a distance. There are many companies in the US that now employ consultants in India, not as back offices, but to join forces with the front office. Can we exploit that? We need new thinking. And, it's not manufacturing or services. By all means, we should do what we can in manufacturing. But we are pouring huge subsidies into manufacturing while neglecting the human capital in a sense of our people. We need to revitalize the schools. Lots of damage done by the pandemic for schooling. How do we bring people up? I work with the government of Tamil Nadu. That has a program to bring students back to school and to bring them back up to speed. Those are the things we need to be thinking about. How do we revive the strength of our people so that going forward we can be a big player?
What's your assessment of the Modi government's handling of the Indian economy? What do you think they're doing right at this moment? Where do you think they're going terribly wrong?
I think where the government works effectively is in areas like infrastructure, where the build out, for example, of roads is working quite well. It seems to me that we're not as good on the soft infrastructure point. For example, we already talked about the raising of tariffs. Well, if we are to be global players, we have to recognize that a tariff is not just preventing imports, but also preventing exports.
But because that seems to be a global trend. The idea that
why do we have to
putting up tariff trade barriers is not just happening in India, but part of a larger trend towards
globalization. Those guys are already part of global supply chains. We are trying to make our way into global supply chains. If everybody else is jumping off the cliff, should we jump off the cliff? Why not instead take sensible decisions from the perspective of our economic situation? We want to be part of global supply chains. Global supply chains typically want low tariffs to bring the stuff in so that you don't produce everything, but you can bring some of the intermediate products in, send them out, bring them back in.
That's the government says take electronics manufacturing for an example. Under the watch of the UPA, hardly anything was being produced in India. Now, not just are we producing for the Indian economy, but we'll also become an export center when it comes to mobile and a lot of electrics manufacturing.
If you are subsidizing the final production of mobiles, find me one manufacturer who will not produce the final mobile in India, but will import a ton of parts. What is the value added that we are having in mobile manufacturing, and how much are we paying in subsidies relative to the number of jobs being created there? And finally, as we said, the China Plus One strategy, people are looking for alternatives. Would they come in without the big subsidy? Those are questions I have never heard anybody answer. Somehow it seems the only way we get mobile manufacturing in India is to subsidize that final output, pay 5,000 rupees per cell phone that is manufactured or whatever the final number is, regardless of how much value is being added there.